Welcome back, folks. I am Jon Najarian, and this is Wednesday. I had to think about it. Almost said Thursday. My tongue went to Thursday, but my brain went to Wednesday. It's Wednesday, the 17th of November, 2021, and this is 3 at 3. 3 at 3, we bring you unusual option activity that our algorithms have ferreted out from the millions of quotes per second that stream from the US exchanges, and we're able to show those to you in real time. So let's get to unusual option activity. First, Thanksgiving is going to be one of the most expensive in the history of the holiday. Yep, that's a fact. Prices aren't going down, they're going up. And most of you know that already. I'll give you a quick look at Pete's deep fried turkey with gold flakes on top. That's what we have every Thanksgiving at the Najarian household. I hope you eat as well wherever you are. And of course, that is tongue in cheek. We don't put gold on it. We put silver because gold's just too expensive. Let's get started with today's 3 at 3. BLMN. This is BLMN. And I bet most of you know what BLMN does. I'm just going to take a wild guess and say that many of you are very aware of what BLMN does. Yeah, if you're somebody who's ever heard of a bloomin' onion, that is what these guys do. These guys are a BLMN. BLMN Brands is indeed Texas Roadhouse. Let me see here. Outback Steakhouse. That's it. I knew it was one of the steakhouses. That's why I had to look it up. It is Outback Steakhouse, Bonefish Grill, and Carrabba's Italian Grill. Never been to that. But they are buying calls like crazy, folks. The stock was $20, and they were buying 5,000 of the January 2250 calls. So 5,000 of those calls means that's 500,000 share equivalent at that 2250 strike. That's a lot. It's $1 million trade potentially for the person who made it, because they could turn 5,000 options into 500,000 shares of stock. That, my friends, could make them a lot of money. So that's the first that we followed in today. I bought at the money, which means I bought the 20 strike calls, sold upside calls against it. Is it because of gift card buying, or just we're going to have more in the reopening trade? Could be both. I don't care. I just wanted to follow along, follow that smart money. Second trade of the day is ABBV, big drug company, healthcare, drugs, ABBV. Stock's $117 a share. They're buying the December 120 calls, big numbers. So those are $2.50 out of the money. You know the gig. I elect to buy at the money one time, sell out of the money one time against it. As long as you maintain that 1-to-1 ratio, you have no additional upside risk. You do have risk on the capital that you put up to make the trade, but assuming that you have the capital that you put up to make the trade, that is the limit to your risk. Stock could go to 150, and if you own the 117s or 117.50s, whatever expiration and strike you choose, and sell an upside call against it, as long as you maintain 1-to-1, you have no additional risk. And you take down the exposure to negative things like, well, you're wrong on market direction. The loss isn't as painful. You're wrong on volatility. The compression, instead of hurting you, hits both sides, the long and the short side. Or the time decay. It's not excessive yet, but it'll start accelerating faster and faster as we get into the December timeframe. That is today's second of the 3 at 3. Let's do the third, which is COTY. They started off with 4,000. Now it's up to 4,500 of the Jan 11 calls. So that's the right to buy the stock at 11 when the stock is trading 1071. You could elect to follow right along and buy those 11s, and I don't blame you. You could buy an in the money or an at the money 10 call, or even a 1050 call instead, and sell an upside call. Either of those. Some of you will elect to sell out of the money puts. This one, of course, is tied pretty closely with what the Kardashians have done in terms of their cosmetic empire that they sell through COTY. Keep an eye on it. I'm in the trade. I was already in COTY prior to this. Don't miss the live stream live. If you're watching this after the market closes, well, you could be doing that for a host of reasons. You could be a subscriber and watching it after the market closes. You could also be blocked from seeing this live if you're not a subscriber. If you subscribe to any of our 3 products over at Market Rebellion, whether it's Pro or Elite, whether the product is a Market Rebellion unusual activity product or not, make sure you check it out. You can go there and see which of the 3 is best for you by going to marketrebellion.com/UOA live, or pick up the phone, call a real person, 888-809-8058. That's 888-809-8058. They have been getting lots of phone calls because we've got a big event tonight after the market closes, and I'll tell you about it right after I get to the question. But marketrebellion.com/UOA live or 888-809-8058 to subscribe and get all of this great info live and get this video live instead of delayed. Questions? Shoot them into me. Jon at Jon Najarian is my Twitter handle. Tom Lee, Carl Phillips asks or says, what do you think about what Tom Lee said today about short-term overbought? I think he's right. I think inflation's a big problem, and it depends how the Fed addresses it. Does Jerome Powell decide he really wants to be reelected? And if so, he's going to be more dovish. Inflation will get more out of hand if he does that. So I think a lot of us are thinking similarly that maybe a good time to take a little off the table. Am I looking for a 15% correction right here? No, I am not even 10%. But do I think we could take some profits, much like we just saw happen in crypto? Yes, I do. So that's my answer, Carl. His handle is at Carl, PH122278711. Bang. Thanks, Carl. JWN. Hey, Jon, still interested in Nordstrom. You too? I set alerts for calls in December. Be well. Thanks. This comes our way by way of at JANSSENSALAN. Jensen's Allen. All right. So do I like JW Nordstrom and the potential for it? Well, I talked yesterday about that unusual activity we saw in Macy's. Stock kind of fell out of bed today. A lot of stocks kind of did the same. I think if you are patient and you are disciplined, you can feast on what Nordstrom's about to bring. So keep an eye on that, my friends. There's another. That's the one we talked about yesterday, or I'm sorry, a couple days ago. 5,600 Nov 35 calls, bought for 60 to 77 cents. I like it. Earnings are 11.23 after the bell. So that's where we stand. Is it? Jon Najarian, win is dirt cheap. Yeah, it is, but it is for a reason. Exposure over to Macau and exposure without their star CEO. Those are both problems, Jared. Jared's handle is at JDR1. I'm sorry, at JDR1024. That's at JDR1024. I do think it's cheap. I think it's cheap for a reason. I buy it on dips. For instance, if we get a dip back to about the 90 level, which we're $5 away, I'm a much bigger buyer. Does that mean I'd sell a put at the 90 strike? Yes, I would. How about that? Thank you, Jared. 4 p.m. today, Eastern Time, right at the market close, my brother Pete is going to be showing you, along with, Ryan Mastro, our chief option strategist, how we collect premiums using options. So in other words, you hear me say all the time, well, I'm long this stock or this call, and instead of selling it, I'm going to sell it at the money call against it. to lock in some profits and to push out perhaps the gain into another month, maybe even into another year. If you want to learn how to do that, tune in today, 4 p.m. today. You got to register at marketrebellion.com. Over 6,000 people have already registered. You need to register now because we've only got 10,000 seats in the room. So for this virtual conference at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, register now. Do it right away, folks. That's going to do it for us today. You can join the Rebellion at marketrebellion.com/get started. That's marketrebellion.com/get started. Thank you, my friends. Have a great day. I'll see you on the halftime report tomorrow.